Viewers are calling it the most breathtaking holiday performance of the year. But what exactly makes Lucy Thomas' Christmas special stand out? In recent days, an unusual surge in online conversation has centered around British vocalist Lucy Thomas, whose holiday performance is quickly becoming one of the season's most talked-about musical moments. As reports continue to highlight the shifting landscape of holiday entertainment, where digital performances increasingly rival major televised broadcasts, Thomas seems to have captured global attention with remarkable precision. Her ability to deliver emotionally resonant vocals has been acknowledged by music commentators for years, but the response to her latest Christmas special suggests that she may now be entering a new phase of visibility and public recognition. Industry observers note that a combination of timing, artistic maturity, and rising anticipation around her seasonal projects has helped amplify this particular release. Meanwhile, social media engagement around the performance has sparked notable increases in viewer interest, with early audience reactions describing it as unexpectedly powerful and a highlight of this year's festive lineup. While the online excitement continues to build, questions remain about the factors that propelled this performance above her previous holiday releases. Those familiar with Thomas' career argue that this moment reflects a gradual but steady rise in her artistic identity, one shaped by controlled vocal styling, polished emotional delivery, and a growing global audience that gravitates toward traditional music presented with a modern, expressive twist. But as discussions continue to circulate, one thing is becoming increasingly clear. The momentum behind this Christmas special shows no sign of slowing, and analysts are watching closely to see just how far this seasonal surge will carry her. How did a young singer from Northern England suddenly become one of the most highlighted voices of the holiday season? Lucy Thomas, originating from the town of Wigan in the United Kingdom, has steadily transformed from a promising young vocalist into an internationally recognized performer, with much of her rise documented through the rapid expansion of her digital presence. As analysts examine her growing influence, they frequently cite her exceptional tonal control, emotional clarity, and stylistic consistency as defining traits that separate her from similarly aged artists. Over the past several years, Thomas has maintained a strong position within the online music landscape, particularly among audiences who prefer cinematic ballads, theatrical vocal delivery, and deeply expressive renditions of established classics. Her ascent has been marked by a series of well-received cover performances, each contributing to a steadily increasing global viewership. Music reporters note that this trajectory is particularly noteworthy given the competitive nature of online vocal content, where only a fraction of performers maintain recurring success over multiple years. Thomas' ability to retain audience interest, combined with her polished presentation and understated public persona, has helped foster a reputation for authenticity, a quality often cited by her viewers as central to her appeal. As the holiday season continues to draw heightened attention to vocalists capable of delivering emotionally rich performances, Thomas' latest Christmas release is being positioned by analysts as a natural extension of the artistic identity she has developed to date. Many industry observers agree that her capacity to balance technical precision with emotional restraint is a defining element of her rising prominence, prompting further curiosity regarding the long-term implications of her continued growth. Why do Lucy Thomas' holiday releases consistently outperform expectations, and what changed this year? Thomas has established a notable pattern over previous holiday seasons. Her Christmas-themed performances routinely gain traction, often outperforming her non-seasonal releases in terms of audience engagement and viewer retention. Music analysts have attributed this success to her ability to reinterpret well-established holiday standards in ways that preserve their emotional roots while offering a fresh vocal perspective. Her renditions of classics such as Silent Night, Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas, and other traditional selections have been cited for their warmth, atmospheric quality, and precise vocal clarity. These releases tend to resonate strongly with listeners seeking nostalgic yet refined interpretations of time-honored seasonal works. Over the years, data trends show a recurring pattern. Thomas, holiday content experiences consistent spikes in viewership, often shared widely among communities that prefer vocal music emphasizing purity of tone and emotional softness. Each year, her seasonal performances have drawn interest not only for their musical quality, but also for the subtle artistic evolution that can be observed from one release to the next. Reporters tracking her career note that this annual progression offers insight into her broader artistic development, with each holiday season acting as a benchmark for her growing skill and confidence. As the public and critics revisit her earlier Christmas catalog in comparison to this year's release, the emerging consensus is that Thomas has reached a new level of refinement, one that positions her most recent performance as a standout moment within her ongoing seasonal tradition. Within hours of the announcement, viewers began speculating that this year's Christmas special might be her biggest project yet. The rollout of Lucy Thomas' 2025 Christmas special began with a carefully structured announcement that immediately drew widespread attention across social platforms. According to engagement metrics reviewed by entertainment reporters, the initial reveal generated a rapid spike in shares, comments, and viewer anticipation, an indicator that her audience had been waiting for a new seasonal performance. Analysts suggest that the timing of the announcement, placed strategically ahead of peak holiday streaming periods, played a key role in the heightened response. The holiday season typically sees intense competition among vocalists releasing festive content. However, Thomas' early reveal appeared to secure a strong position within this crowded landscape. In addition to the official announcement, ongoing discussions within fan communities helped amplify the conversation, with many expressing expectations that this performance would surpass her earlier seasonal productions. Reporters following the story observed a noticeable trend. The anticipation was not merely about another holiday release, but about what fans perceived as the next stage in her artistic evolution. This enthusiasm suggests a rising confidence in her ability to deliver holiday material that feels both familiar and elevated. As more details surfaced, such as hints about the arrangement style, visual presentation, and the thematic direction of the special, the speculation intensified, further contributing to the early momentum that now surrounds the release. This concentrated attention, particularly within the first 48 hours of the announcement, has contributed to the widespread belief among viewers and media observers that Thomas may be poised for one of the most high-impact moments of her career thus far. Experts are calling her latest holiday single a defining moment, so what sets this interpretation apart from the rest? Lucy Thomas' newest Christmas single arrives at a moment when seasonal audiences are actively seeking fresh interpretations of well-loved classics. Reporters analyzing her musical approach note that her latest release demonstrates not only technical maturity, but also a refined understanding of emotional packing, phrasing, and tonal contrast. The single, based on one of the most recognizable holiday standards, features a delicate balance of traditional arrangement and contemporary vocal styling, allowing the performance to appeal simultaneously to classic holiday listeners and newer audiences discovering her for the first time. Early responses from critics highlight Thomas' ability to maintain the nostalgic integrity of the original composition while introducing subtle variations that make the rendition uniquely her own. Her controlled vibrato, gradual dynamic shifts, and polished upper register passages are frequently cited as contributing factors to the single's impact. Meanwhile, audience reactions emphasize the song's atmospheric quality and emotional resonance, with many describing it as a standout example of her artistic development. The new release also reflects a noticeable evolution in production quality, with audio engineers noting improvements in mixing clarity and overall spatial depth, elements that complement Thomas' vocal delivery. As reporters compare this performance to her earlier holiday catalog, a clear trend emerges. Each year, her interpretations grow more nuanced, suggesting a steady progression toward more sophisticated artistic expression. This year's single appears to embody that trajectory, positioning it as one of her strongest seasonal releases to date and reinforcing her growing reputation as a prominent voice in holiday music. Why are longtime followers calling this her most emotionally powerful Christmas release so far? Public response to Lucy Thomas' latest holiday performance has been notably enthusiastic, with viewer activity indicating unusually strong engagement compared to previous seasonal releases. Early comments emphasize the emotional depth of the performance, frequently referencing the clarity, warmth, and expressive nuance of her delivery. Reporters tracking viewer sentiment observe that this year's reactions seem more unified than in past seasons, with a significant portion of her audience identifying the performance as a new benchmark in her artistic portfolio. Analysts suggest that this may reflect a broader trend in listener behavior. Audiences are increasingly drawn to vocalists who combine classical technique with a relatable, grounded presentation. Thomas' ability to maintain a composed, understated public image likely contributes to this perception, reinforcing her appeal among viewers who value authenticity over spectacle. At the same time, fan communities have played a substantial role in amplifying the performance's visibility. Social groups dedicated to her work have highlighted the release as one of her most impactful seasonal projects, frequently citing its emotional tone and refined vocal execution. In addition, reporters reviewing audience discussions note a recurring sentiment. Thomas' holiday performances offer listeners a sense of calm and connection, qualities particularly appreciated during the busier moments of the season. These patterns of response have led entertainment analysts to conclude that the public's enthusiasm is not merely a reaction to the holiday theme, but to the perceived artistic growth embedded in the performance. As reactions continue to accumulate, many observers predict that this year's special may become one of the defining seasonal releases of her career. What subtle shift in approach turned this performance into one of the most talked-about holiday releases of the year? Reporters examining the structure and tone of Lucy Thomas' Christmas special have identified several factors that set it apart from her previous holiday content. Unlike earlier releases that focused primarily on polished studio renditions, this year's special emphasizes a more intimate atmosphere, one that invites viewers to experience the performance as though it were happening in a personal, close-knit setting. Analysts suggest that this stylistic shift may be deliberate, reflecting a broader industry trend in which audiences increasingly seek authenticity and emotional closeness in seasonal programming. The special's arrangement style also contributes to this distinctive tone. Commentators have noted that the instrumentation is more restrained, allowing Thomas' vocal performance to remain the central focus throughout. This minimalist approach enhances the emotional weight of the performance, encouraging listeners to pay closer attention to subtle variations in phrasing, breath control, and tonal shading. Meanwhile, early discussions within fan communities highlight another notable element. The performance conveys a sense of emotional vulnerability not as prominently displayed in her previous holiday works. Reporters speculate that this quality may stem from Thomas' natural artistic progression, suggesting increased confidence in allowing her vocal expression to carry more raw emotional impact. As analysts continue to assess this year's special, the emerging consensus is that the combination of understated presentation, emotional clarity, and carefully measured artistic choices has resulted in a holiday release that feels both familiar and newly distinctive. This layered approach, appears to be a major factor behind its rapid rise in seasonal visibility and acclaim. Is this Christmas special merely a seasonal highlight, or the beginning of a defining shift in Lucy Thomas' career? In the broader context of Lucy Thomas' musical development, many entertainment reporters view this year's holiday performance as a potential turning point. While seasonal releases often function as short-term audience engagement boosters, Thomas' latest special appears to be generating sustained attention from both fans and industry observers. This continued momentum has prompted speculation that the performance may play a role in shaping her upcoming artistic direction. Analysts examining the long-term impact suggest that the qualities highlighted in this special, emotional refinement, vocal precision, and an increasingly confident presentation, could influence the style and tone of her future work. Additionally, the strong public response serves as a reminder of the enduring appeal of traditional music when delivered with sincerity and modern sensibility. Reporters covering her trajectory note that she has built a unique position within the digital music space, a performer who embraces classic material while steadily expanding her reach through contemporary online platforms. As the season progresses, the lasting impression of this Christmas special may extend beyond its immediate viewership, contributing to discussions about Thomas' potential in larger markets and broader artistic ventures. While the final impact of the performance will become clearer with time, current indicators suggest that it has already strengthened her standing within the seasonal music landscape. For now, the conversation surrounding the special continues to grow, prompting many to wonder whether this holiday moment signals the beginning of a new chapter in her rising career.